Late night boxing talks. Talking about the late night boxing talks. Yeah, man. We are live back at the fortress. Back on the home front. Must have overshot it. The snowstorm was not as bad as anticipated, which is good. You know, nobody lost power. No, nothing happened. Thankfully, most of the snow melted in the morning due to the temperature not being cold enough to allow everything to freeze. Let's post the link to this live for the people on Twitter. You know what I mean? And we got a good show tonight. Couple of interesting subjects we're going to mull over. Not exclusive to the ongoing situation with Terrence Crawford and his former promoter. Late night box talks. Talking about the late night box talks. Yeah, I got to charge my fucking phone, man. Let me see. All right. Yeah, give me a second. So I was tagged to this post by none other than the Black Rose herself, Zarina Mccoy, detailing a situation unbeknownst to most that apparently, in Serena's own words, she was offered the Jamie Mitchell fight. But Jamie Mitchell's own team decided to turn her down. They turned down Zarina Mccoy for the title shot that ended up going to Carly Thumper Skelly. In Zarina's own words, no disrespect to Skelly, but tell me why Matchroom contacted me to be the opponent for this fight, and I gladly accepted, but was turned down by the champ's team. 7-0-2 versus 9-0-0 sounds way better than 4-0-1. That's right. According to Zarina, the Black Rose Mccoy, Team Mitchell, they didn't want the smoke. They didn't want no parts of her. I don't have Jamie Mitchell's side of the story, but I will say this. I appreciate that, Drew, my guy. Broke Boxing Twitter nominated me and Jules as worst boxing Twitter contributors, and that's a badge of honor. You're goddamn right. And we're going to talk about that, too. For now, I want to talk about the story involving Zarina Mccoy. See, with Zarina, Zarina is a bad style matchup for Jamie Mitchell, and I have cooked up a diagram that characterizes what it is I am describing. You see, all right, where is that goddamn shit? These are the principal base styles in the sport of boxing. There aren't that many. There are really only three, and there just so happen to be some fighters that live in between these base styles. Some fighters are pressure fighters, some fighters are pure boxers, and some fighters are boxer punchers. Each individual base style comes with its own advantages and its own drawbacks. When it comes to those three particular fighters, this is how it breaks down. A pressure fighter has an advantage over a pure boxer. A pure boxer has an advantage over a boxer puncher. And if one of the fighters, or if one of the base styles, is if one of the fighters is operating at a higher level than the others, then even if they are at a stylistic disadvantage, they will be able to work around it. And what I mean by that is, say you have a pure boxer in Zarina Mccoy coming up against the pressure fighter in Carly Skelly. Well, normally, when all the fighters are on the same level, that pressure fighter will have an advantage over that pure boxer, unless that pure boxer is an A-level pure boxer and that pressure fighter is a B-level pressure fighter. But when all the fighters are on the same level, this is how it plays out. Now, I will say that I think that Zarina operates at a level higher than Carly Skelly. That's not a knock on Carly Skelly, but Zarina does have more pro fights, more pro experience. She's one of my favorite prospects. And when it comes to a potential Zarina Mccoy versus Jamie Mitchell fight, if she would have got the fight, Zarina would have went into that fight with considerable advantages because she's a longer fighter than Jamie Mitchell. She's got height, she's got reach, she's got the right style for the job. It would have been a lot harder for Jamie to successfully defend that title against young Zarina than it would be against an opponent like Carly Skelly, who's going to stand right in front of her and just go for the gusto and throw. That affords Jamie more opportunities to use her power, where if it's Zarina who's going to pick her punches, move and punch, and she's a southpaw. She's not going to give you that many opportunities to use your power. She's going to stick and move and box from the outside and be economic. Well, it's a much harder fight. So when Zarina says that she was offered the fight by Matchroom and Team Mitchell turned the fight down, I think there might be something to that. I do. When it comes to egg-shaped form, yes, I am invested. If you know anything about this channel, I've been covering the sport for years and years and years. And if you don't like that, you can go somewhere else and go fuck yourself while you do it. Imagine, you're like, motherfucker, you in the wrong place for your personality. I'm going to take care of you right now. And we won't be seeing anything more from you again. Punch Perfect was good. Now, another interesting story, and just so you know, I'm probably gonna cover some of these subjects on the next couple of episodes of the relay, but I wanted to touch on them in passing. One interesting little nugget that I saw that oh shit, there's liquid detected in my phone. Fucking hell. Liquid has been detected in the lightning connector. Disconnect the connector to dry. Charging may damage your phone. Oh, fuck me. All right, give me a second, fellas. Let me deal with this little bullshit. I saw this. That is, I didn't even, if not for being tagged to it, which is, we're going to get into this too. If not for me being tagged into this little list of whatever, I don't even know. If not for this person, what is their name? Todd Mr. Keep It 100 Boxing. These are the top 12 worst accounts on boxing Twitter, no order. Bear in mind, ladies and germs, I don't follow this fucking person. I don't know who the fuck this is or why they're tagging me. But the act of tagging me to your post when I don't know who you are indicates to me that you wanted to get my attention. And now you have it, though you only have it in passing because I'm not going to spend too much time on you. I don't follow you. I don't know who the fuck you are. If I really am one of the worst boxing Twitter accounts on Twitter, I expect you to do what I do. When I don't like an account because they usually say a lot of stupid shit, I block them. I don't make a post about them. I just block them. Like, I don't want to hear what you think about boxing. I don't want to see what you think about boxing. I don't want to see you in my feed. What I don't do is tag them to moan about it. If that ain't some old effeminate shit, I don't know what the fuck is, man. Motherfuckers want attention so bad, and it don't be the right attention. If I don't like a channel, I don't watch it. If I don't like a Twitter account, I don't follow it. I don't even make posts about it. I will simply mute and or block. Simple, because I don't want to see you. I don't care what you're talking about. I don't care what you think about boxing. What I'm not going to do is tag you so that, oh, maybe I'll see it and I'll feel upset and we'll have an argument. Go fucking argue with your girlfriend, bro. Or go argue with your landlord, or I don't know. Go argue with, do something with yourself. Don't fucking tag me. I don't want to talk to you. I don't care where you rate me because I don't know who you are to even rate you. Though if I did, I wouldn't because I don't care what you're doing. Fuck's sake. Shout out to my man Drew. I mute a block, but not without telling him I ain't seen them at the big fights. Yo, that's the shit, Drew. That see, this is why I like Drew, right? Drew show improve because he's a Capricorn like me. You know, we Capricorns, we show improve. What we don't do is the petty bullshit. Like, I'm not trying to be dragged down into the world of constant Twitter arguments. I honestly try to stay away from that, even though sometimes I get sucked into those situations. But I prefer not to argue with people I don't give a fuck about. You're not putting any money in my pocket. I don't get anything out of talking to you. I don't learn anything that I didn't already know. So go the fuck away. Stay in your lane, bro. I don't know where the fuck you going, but get there, because I don't know what the fuck you doing. You know what I'm saying? I wear it like a badge of honor. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Willie Lynch. Twitter opinions mean as much to me as MSM. I am a fan of your content and I'm sticking to it. I appreciate that, Willie Lynch. I have some of the best subscribers in the whole of YouTube. I appreciate every super chat, every Cash App donation, every contribution. I appreciate it because most of you don't have to do that, but you do it, and I appreciate it. It makes the relay possible. It helps make the relay possible. You know what I mean? Ring, for some reason, you are the common enemy for these guys. And I don't know why, because I don't talk to any of them, bro. I don't talk to any of these fucking guys. I don't know what the fuck they think about boxing. If they didn't go out of their way to try and get my attention, I wouldn't know they exist. The other day, I got sent screenshots from the other side of Twitter, right, where a lot of these guys be at, and girls. And I'm like, and I made a post like, yo, don't send me screenshots about what the boogers is talking about, even if they talking about me. Don't send me no booger screenshots because I don't give a fuck what the boogers is talking about, even if it's about me. Do you see me on my, scroll down my page. Show me where I'm mentioning any one of these motherfucking people, guy, girl, whoever. Scroll down my page. The only thing you're going to see is boxing and boxing and boxing and retweets and boxing and boxing. If not for the constant effort to try and get my attention, to goad me into talking to you or having an argument with you, I wouldn't know you exist. I lay the motherfucking facts in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Now, what I want to do is I want to get young Zarina Mccoy on the show to talk about the motherfucking shit. Talk about this motherfucking fight that she was offered. I'm going to see if I can make it happen. I got the motherfucking shwammy. The motherfucking shwammy. You know what I'm saying? The motherfucking shwammy out here, yo. You know what I'm saying? The M6TZ. You know what I'm saying? It's real out here, yo. I don't got time to be playing with you motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck what the fuck you motherfuckers think about a boxing match. Ring, what does your gut say about Canelo's next fight? My gut says that there's a listen, honestly, I honestly believe that it could have been Jake Paul on Showtime. I thought that, or it could be Conor McGregor. I could see that happening too. And I've already said this. I don't mind if Canelo Alvarez decides to go that route. You know why? Because you guys are not fighting. You guys don't want to fight each other because you're all waiting for me. Well, if Canelo ends up fighting someone other than the short list of guys that are waiting for him, maybe we get Smith versus Better Beef. Maybe we get Bivol versus Ramirez. Maybe Jermall Charlo will finally fucking fight someone. I don't know. Plant, Benavidez, somebody. Fuck, fight somebody, bro. Fight someone, please. I ordered it. That is a confit. Let me show you this joint. I got two of these bad boys. Some bad motherfuckers for me to attack my kids with. We have Nerf Wars all motherfucking day. This is the red one. Comes with the handle. You see that handle? All right. Put the butt right there on the shoulder. You know what I'm saying? It's a little trigger right here. You squeeze to power it on as you aim and you... Ow! You see that motherfucking shit? All right. While I'm out here living life and having fun, these motherfuckers is worrying about me and putting me on their list. Bro, I ain't thinking about you motherfuckers. That's right, Paul Check. And yo, I got another one coming. It's a 6-shooter. I got it for my son because he's small. He got small hands. So I wanted to get him something that he could really shoot a lot with. No, we're not having a war. So go back in the room. Yeah, I got the scope in case they try to get away. I can hit them with the pew. I don't got time for the negativity. And a lot of people don't like to characterize themselves as being negative. But guess what? You're negative. You're toxic. Everything about you is toxic. That's why you fail at most things you do. That's why you're miserable. And you want me to be as miserable as you are. But that doesn't work because I'm a Capricorn and I'm smarter than you are. Fuck out of here. I am enchanted. I spread goodness and good. I spread the goodness and the good cheer to anybody that's around me. And if you don't feel it, you know why you don't feel it? Because you ain't shit. The fuck out of here. I'm gonna drink this delicious café con leche out of my fucking MC Universe cup. Motherfuckers trying to make me miserable like they ass. I ain't worried about your motherfucking ass. I'm not. Don't think that motherfucking shit. My man Eric Gomez, he a Capricorn too. Oh, wait a minute. That's that weird motherfucker. Don't tell me Ego is a Capricorn because I don't believe you. I don't believe you. You spread the sparkly dust and the cherry with the cherry one. Yeah, yo, sprinkle, man. Try to have a nice day. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, I'm going to have a good day, man. I'm going to do what I got to do to have a nice day, man. So you can stop being miserable and adding me to lists that I don't give a fuck about. Because if you don't tag me, I don't even fucking see you, dog. Shit is wild out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Scorpio. We run the stars. Now, y'all really don't, but I like Scorpios. My daughter's a Scorpio. Several of my best friends are Scorpios and Tauruses. Scorpios is good money, man. But Scorpios is a lot more emotional than we are. They have intellectual traits like we do, but they're more emotional. You know what I mean? Whereas the Capricorn is very logic based. Emotions are for the weak. If you can't control your emotions, you're weak. Period. If you do not have control over yourself, you will not have control over the world around you, which is your world, and it's what you make it. So if you're subject to your emotions, you live and die off of bullshit that means nothing. I'm a Gemini with aggressive person. One of my best friends is a Gemini. You know what I'm saying? Master thyself. Know thyself. Know thy enemy. The rules of war, man. You know what I'm saying? We are at war. That's a giant coffee mug. It's big. It's big. I ain't going front. It's a big mug. But it's because my wife knows I drink a lot of coffee. It's deep, too. Same way with fatties. You can't control your weight, then you ain't control. Shit. Capricorn grounded cardinal sign. Happy B-Day Usyk. Happy birthday Usyk, Roy Jones Jr., Delphine Passoon, the late great Muhammad Ali, the late great George Foreman. I'm George Foreman. No, protect George Foreman. I meant Joe Frazier. Late great Joe Frazier. Protect my man George Foreman. Happy birthday to him too. You know what I'm saying? Bro, Libras is mad emotional, bro. I don't gel well with Libra because I'm not emotional, bro. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like, yo, I'm really not emotional. Everything is A, B, and C. That's it. A, B, C. It's you gonna do something or you're not gonna do something. Everything is numbers and all of that. It's all very logical. Emotions are kind of useless. Outside of your loved ones, emotions are kind of useless. Why let someone get you mad? If they intended to offend you, offend them back. Not because you're mad, but because reciprocating is better. Revolving door policy. I'll give you the energy you give me. And I will allow it to escalate at my leisure. You know what I mean? And that's how that go, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's how that motherfucking go, man. Signs that I really like, Virgos, Arieses. I got a lot of good friends that are Arieses. My wife is an Aries. Virgos, Aries, Scorpio, Taurus. I love Tauruses. They're really fucking honest, but they're also really fucking violent. But they're also really fucking honest, which I appreciate. You always know where you stand with a Taurus. You always know. They don't shy away from letting you know, which I appreciate. Who else? Other Capricorns. Yeah, man. You know, it's good times at Ridge. It's fun times at Ridgemont High. And one of the stories that caught my attention was a story about Leo Santa Cruz saying that he's gonna stay in the featherweight division beyond the fight that he's got coming up on the undercard of Thurman versus Barrios. And I thought that was interesting because if he stays at featherweight, he will be ordered to fight the winner of Conlon versus Wood. And my gut tells me, in reference to that fight, that he won't fight the winner of that fight. That's what I cannot see Leo Santa Cruz fighting the winner of that fight. I would like to be wrong because I'm a boxing fan. I want to see boxing matches more than anything. That is the focal point of everything. I want to see boxing matches. But I can't see him fighting the winner of that fight. So I kind of feel, okay, if this guy intends to stay in the featherweight division, what would he be staying for if the intention isn't to fight the winner of that fight? And perhaps the intention is to face the winner of Mccoy versus Russell Jr. in a unification match on pay-per-view by way of Fox. That's kind of what I'm thinking. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, yo, this dude is not going to fight the winner of that fight. Because whatever deal, if they even offer the winner a deal to fight Leo Santa Cruz, Matchroom could be like, man, fuck your deal. Let's go to purse bid and let's see who really wants this fight. Mao was a Capricorn, pragmatic conqueror. So was Joseph Stalin. So was Howard Hughes. So were many legendary figures in the annals of human history that were Capricorns. And it's not a coincidence. You know what I'm saying? We're special. And I'm not being egotistical by saying we're special. And it's that fucking simple. All right. Now, yesterday, we went over some of the complaints in Terrence Crawford's, his court document. And I want to give a shout out to Steve Kim, who published an article about, just the case itself and how, while a lot of time is being spent on the racial bias angle of it, the reality of it is the case itself is more in reference to a breach, even though there's a lot of complaints in there and a lot of statements in reference to racial bias. The only leg that they may have to stand on is if they can substantiate that there is a breach. That boils down to good old fine print and paperwork. If you have documentation that proves Top Rank agreed to deliver you a fight with Errol Spence Jr., and if they don't deliver you that fight, they have to pay a penalty of upwards of $900,000. All you have to do is produce the document. However, what protects Top Rank is a force majeure clause. Force majeure meaning an act of God, something that prevents them from acting out that contract or exacting out that contract, delivering on that contract. And the interesting tidbits about the case is that Terrence Crawford, out of his own mouth, more than once, stated that he doesn't care about the Spence fight, that he's over it. He has stated that more than once between the time he entered into that contract with Top Rank and now. More than once, Terrence said, I don't need that fight. So it's strange that you would say you don't need that fight. And I've seen him do it. And I've done videos on it where he said, I don't need Errol Spence Jr. He needs me. And I don't need that fight. And I'm past it. I am past that fight. There are several instances like that where Terrence Crawford, I felt that he grew frustrated with the situation when he said those things, that he's like, yo, dog, I'm not going to jump through hoops for you, bro. I'm not your fucking dog to be jumping through hoops for you. I'm undisputed. You not. I'm a 3-division champion. You not. I get this amount up front. You don't. You know what I mean? I'm not your fucking lapdog to go through an obstacle course at your fucking whim. I always interpreted those statements as being that. that I'm not going to put up with your shit. You told me to get a belt and I got a belt. Then you added mad other shit to the list of, oh, you got to fight on my network and you got to do the split. Let me ask you a question. If Errol Spence Jr. has been telling you that he's the A side and you're the B side, how can you blame Bob? Errol should have been making the offer to you, if anything. Errol should have been the one making the offer to you. But Errol didn't make you an offer. What he did was he got on social media and he just threw numbers out there. Oh, 60-40. Oh, 90-10. Oh, like, bruh, that's what makes it so frivolous to me. The racial bias angle was a smokescreen. I agree. I think that they are trying to garner negative press to Top Rank as a company by that added element, even though the nature of their complaint pertains more to some kind of written agreement they allege they have in unison with other elements of Crawford's contract and tenure at Top Rank. Those two don't want to fight each other, Bud and Errol. I don't agree with that. I firmly believe that Terrence Crawford wanted that fight and Errol didn't, because Errol doesn't make sense. You don't make sense. You told him to get a belt. He got a belt. You told him that you will not fight on ESPN. You're the A side. But if you're the A side, where is the offer? 9 times out of 10, the A side fighter makes the offer. 9 times out of 10. Spence never wanted that fight. I've been saying that for 3 or 4 years, just like I've been saying that those guys might never fight. 4 years later, they haven't fought, right? Now, I don't know what the future holds. I don't know if this isn't all a play to try to get in the PBC's good graces, though I have mentioned this in passing. If we see that Terrence Crawford forms a relationship with the PBC moving forward, then we will know who coaxed him to pursue this case. If he gets with the PBC, we're going to know who went in his ear and said, yo, sue Top Rank. Sue Top Rank. Appreciate that, Willie Lynch. I appreciate that, bro. Honestly think Terrence was angry and lashed out. I can relate to it because I got that mad before and picked fights I couldn't win because of my anger. I always love Terrence, but we have to tell the emperor he's naked. And I agree with that. But at the same time, a part of me feels, yo, if he ends up with the PBC, then we're going to know who coached him to do this. Is it a coincidence that you're using the same lawyer that Mikey Garcia used right before he ended up going to the PBC? Is that a coincidence that you, like Mikey Garcia, are using Brian Friedman as your legal counsel? Is that a coincidence? And if you end up going to the PBC, you mentioned Al Heyman in your lawsuit. You mentioned him, but it's been Al Heyman who's been depriving you of this fight. And that's one of Errol Spence Jr.'s, that's in Errol's own words. When you confronted Errol Spence Jr. backstage, he said, Al Heyman gave me 4 names: Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Mikey Garcia, and Manny Pacquiao. You asked Errol, he didn't mention me? And he said, no, he didn't mention you. So that you can turn around and sue Bob, who put the money in your pocket for the guy that didn't want you to fight his fighter. He included Al Heyman in the lawsuit. For sure, he's going to the PBC. It's in there, bro. I advise any of you, review the document. It's 26 pages, but it's on one of the first couple of pages where it mentions that Bob Arum regularly mocks Al Heyman. Terrence, why would that be any concern of yours? Why would you and your legal counsel feel so inclined to make any mention of Al Heyman when it's been Al Heyman's fighters and Al Heyman himself who froze you out? They were trying to monopolize and are still trying to monopolize all the fighters in the welterweight division, you among them. And if you didn't want to play ball on their terms, they wouldn't let you play ball. That's what they did to you for the last 3 or 4 years. And now all of a sudden, you're making that Bob Arum's fault by suing him. Shout out to Oscar Jimenez. Julius, when do you estimate we'll have the next undisputed champion at welterweight, or will we even have one? I don't know. On one end, I tell myself, Oscar, don't wait for it. That's like just my lack of patience for that division. I'm like, esa vaina no va a pasar. That's my lack of patience. But depending on what happens with Crawford moving forward, if he does go to the PBC, maybe we do get one. If he does go to the PBC, if all of this that we're seeing is a play to get in their good graces, then maybe he'll get the winner of Spencer versus Ugas. Maybe. Because I I don't trust Errol as a fighter anymore. A guy that missed the whole year because of an eye injury. No, I don't trust you anymore. You're not solid anymore. And until you get in there and show that you can deal with the shit and deal with the punches and all of that, I don't trust you anymore. If you're not in a good condition or you're not in good physical condition, the PBC needs another prize stallion at 147. And it's not going to beat Ugas. It's not. Let's be realistic. It's not. You must not know about Sean Porter, John. He was a huge name, and he was and has the clout with that name. Crawford is 3-division champ, undisputed at 140. Doing nothing is a wild statement. I'm trying to read through the comments. Crawford is a master at keeping his name out there while doing almost nothing in the ring. Well, I don't agree with that take, but you're welcome to join the panel and discuss it. Let me post a link for the guys in the chitty chat. And once again, I want to preface everything I'm about to say with this. We are not children. We do not have to agree with everything. You don't have to agree with everything I say, the same way that I don't have to agree with anything you say. That's why I like to have opposing views and ask people what they think, even if I don't agree with them. And yeah, man, it's a lot of stuff, man. It's a lot of stuff. And we'll see how it plays out, because this whole situation is just so weird to me that how could you come to the conclusion that Top Rank mishandled your career when Top Rank was powerless at 147 pounds? There's just not a lot that they could have done. It's so irrational to jump to the conclusion that they could have done more when they did as much for you as they could have. Drew was good. Country was good. You know what I'm saying?
What's happening?
Same old shit. I'm just looking at this Crawford situation, and I'm like, yo, this has to be some kind of a play, because it doesn't make a lot of sense to sue Top Rank, to be honest.
What's good, man?
What's going on, Country?
This is the most publicity Crawford's ever gotten in his career.
Yeah, but I mean, it's so tasteless, though.
No, it's not good or bad. It's just like, come on, bro, you resorting to this? Really? That's where you're going now?
Let me go to Country. I haven't heard too much from Country on the subject. Country, just tell me what you think about the whole lawsuit and just everything that's going on.
I think the lawsuit is actually just kind of frivolous. I think Bud's lashing out in frustration because he got froze out, and he feels Bob ain't doing enough to get him anything. To be honest, I don't see that he really has a case as far as racial bias. He may have a breach of contract, possibly. I don't know. I'm not a legal expert, but the racial bias thing is so far-fetched, and it's ridiculous. A lot of people have jumped on the bandwagon, which I find very annoying because it kind of feeds into like the victim mentality of a lot of people that there's this never-ending racism and it's always going on. And, it's like, okay, yeah, there is some racism in boxing, I'm sure, but it's not, all the time, every time,
I wanted to touch on that, how do you, the guy yesterday, and bear in mind, I never make generalizations about group. You're never going to see me do that, bro. I'm not going to do that. I speak in reference to the individual, and I find it necessary to preface every statement I make with that, because that is how sensitive the climate has become. that I have to say that I'm talking about this person. I'm not talking about I'm talking about this person. All right. Bang.
See, but what irks me is that people just jump to that right away without really talking about it. See, that's where I have a problem with it, because it's like, if you guys, if people would just sit there and talk about it more, and I'm not talking about any specific group per se, but just people in general, if you would talk about it more instead of just jumping straight to that kind of thing, it would make conversations a lot, flow a lot smoother, and I think we'd have more understanding.
Well,
But
I want to say this. I mentioned this in a video that I did, right? That Bob Arum, he just strikes me as an asshole. He has an asshole. He's an asshole. If you got to call him what he is, right? Yeah, he's an asshole. Why is he an asshole? Because he's been in the sport of boxing for 50 years. You can't be in this sport that long being sugar and spice and everything nice. He's
it's
an
like
asshole.
going into politics, man. You go in wide, like you said, you go in wide-eyed and open, thinking you're going to do something. And at the end of it, man, you're a completely different animal. It was like, oh, that wasn't good. That wasn't happening, was it?
Exactly. So when you think about Bob being an asshole, there are so many people that he's been an asshole to. He's been an asshole to Eddie Hearn. He was an asshole to Devin Haney. He was an asshole to Teofimo Lopez. Yet, according to the case, he has a bias for Latino fighters. I don't think that Teofimo Lopez, remember, Teofimo wasn't happy with the money for the Kambosos fight. He thought he was being mistreated. The same way Terrence Crawford thinks he's being mistreated. The same way Mikey Garcia thought he was being mistreated. That shows me that, this guy's just an asshole across. And I don't think he was wrong with Teofimo. Bro, that's not a big fight. I'm sorry.
made his own bed.
Yeah.
He made his own bed. The grass was greener on the other side to him. He jumped on it, and he was way too big for his own britches. And this is the end result. It messed him up. If he was smart, like you said, he should have just let Top Rank do it to begin with, and everything would have been a lot smoother. It would have went quicker. He might not have lost to Kambosos.
I firmly believe that, and I don't want to knock George, but if the fight would have happened in a timely fashion, right after the Lomachenko fight, if it would have happened then, he wouldn't have been struggling to make weight. He wouldn't have ended up getting COVID and all the extra shit that followed that shit. That fucking fight took a year to get over the line. And he was already struggling to make weight before he fought Vasil Lomachenko.
And then you go and fire perfecting athletes and Joey Gamache because you don't want to pay them.
It's wild. So what I see is that there were a lot of disgruntled employees. When it comes to Bob, there seemed to be a lot of disgruntled employees, not exclusive to Terrence Crawford, guys that put their value in excess of what he's willing to pay out. And it didn't start with Crawford. It didn't start with Lopez. It didn't even start with Floyd. It seems that that's always been the situation, but it's never been specific to one group. It's been that way for a lot of different fighters that have come through the doors of Top Rank. Lopez, he thinks the value of the fight is this, but Bob thinks the value of the fight is that. I read the story of Mikey Garcia, and when he finally got out of the Top Rank contract, and in there you're literally gonna see the same fucking thing you always see. Bob saying, "Yo, he puts the value of the fight at this, and we put the value of the fight at that. I'm not gonna go broke trying to get, I'm not gonna go broke paying you, bro." And that's the same shit that he said about Teofimo Lopez. That's the same shit that he said about Terrence Crawford.
The thing I find hilarious in all this, Jules, in the country is, if this is such a racially biased company, why are all the top Black American prospects signing with him? Why is Jay Prince comfortable doing business with him?
Because
why did Al Heyman, who's mentioned in that damn complaint, signing up these guys, and if it's and bringing them all to the table as in a black-run organization?
You know why, Drew?
I know why.
It's bullshit. Because it's frivolous. It's fucking
Capricious.
bullshit. It's frivolous.
There's a great movie that has have you guys seen Runaway Jury?
Mhm.
I've
It's
heard of it,
it's
but I haven't seen
basically
it.
all this thing is about money. That's all it is. There's no Terrence Crawford does not want to change no structure in boxing. No, that he just wants money, and that's it.
Of course. I mean,
Hey, I got a question for you guys. How do you think this is going to affect Crawford's career in the future, though? Do you think it's going to have a negative effect on him at all?
well, it depends. If it makes it, if it's a play, right? Let's say this country, if it's a play to get in the PBC's good graces, then what that would essentially mean is that he's on the eve of a, let's say, a Thurman fight, and he's on the eve of potentially facing the winner of Ugas versus Spence. And this is completely hypothetical because we don't know that. We don't know who he's going to end up with. That's why.
So you sell your soul for that, bro? So you sell your soul for a fight?
Bro, hold on. I was literally mid-sentence.
My bad.
We don't know where he's gonna end up. Like, we don't know for sure that this is a play to join the PBC. That's just us hypothesizing that maybe that's what it is. So I can't tell you what happens. Like, I could see him retiring also, country. I could see him retiring, honestly.
Yeah, I could see that too, possibly.
Now,
Yeah,
Chris,
I can see that.
Chris,
About a
what do
couple
you
more fights?
Chris, what do you see? Do you think this is a play to get into PBC's good graces, or do you feel that Terrence is approaching the end of his career?
At first I thought Terrence was approaching the end of his career because he's done everything in boxing and he realized the fight that he wanted, he wasn't going to get.
Mhm.
But from what you guys have been conjecturing for the past couple days, it seems like he's willing to sell his soul for this fight. And if that's the case, I can't really respect you no more, bro. Because at the end of the day, you with your own two eyes saw what these people did to you and how they treated you as another black man.
Mhm.
They chose sides and they didn't rock with you because you were with an outfit that was a lot more professional and did right by you instead of the black outfit that they wanted you on. So if you're going to sell your soul to a group of people that didn't care about you, I have to look at you crazy, bro. I have to.
I can't lie that I feel that way. Like, I didn't want to be that guy that if Crawford ends up going to the PBC, I'm gonna feel different. But the lawsuit is what has me there. That, like, look, if you was gonna go there after all this shit, right? That it just is what it is, you know what I mean? Like, if you was just gonna go because that's where the fights that you wanted is at, then I'd have just took that one. Like, he gonna be with the PBC, you know, it just is what it is. I ain't gonna hate him for that, you know what I mean? And I ain't gonna think less of him for that. But the lawsuit
At
is
all, but
the lawsuit is what
you
makes
read
it
the
that way.
verbiage,
And that's
bro.
my thing. That's my thing. It's the optics.
Yep.
It's Crawford
All
had to
the-
deal with all the LDBC, all these fools calling him every name under the sun. And if he would have just left and just like, I'm out, got with them to get the deal, the optics are like, okay, Terrence is just going to get fights. But because the method in which he used to do this, that I'll always support Terrence Crawford, the fighter. But the person just shows a lack of integrity and ethics by
Well,
doing this.
it's hard to address that kind of subject without addressing other subjects of American subculture. That there's a feeling that it's not wrong if one of your own is doing it. That it ain't fucked up that they didn't even want to put you in their graphics, and it ain't fucked up that for at least a year and a half they spent that year and a half diminishing you and berating you as a fighter. For like a year and a half they did that, and it's not fucked up because it's them. Like, oh well, it's not fucked up when it's coming from your own, but it's supposed to be extra fucked up when it's coming from somebody else, when in reality, no, it's extra fucked up because it's coming from your own.
And
Your own foe.
there within lies the problem.
Well, I mean, everybody, I think every culture, including some American cultures, I think every culture has their own characteristics of things that happen. You know what I mean? That, like, for example, if you from, you know, if you from a ghetto in America, well, I don't even know anymore because like, snitching, it seems to be okay, but these days it is. But when I was young, you don't rat, you don't call a J, you deal with it. You deal with it, period. Like, whatever it is, you deal with it. Fuck, you look like What?
Yo, you
Nah,
not yo, bro. Not everyone is gangster as you, Julius. I'm scared of you, B.
I'm not talking about gangster shit. Like motherfucking neighbors was like, look, there was a rapist. No, there was a pocketbook snatcher. I remember when I was very young, right? It was a pocketbook snatcher. And early in the morning when the old ladies would go to work, he was snatching a pocketbook. The dudes on the block when I was young, they dealt with that. They didn't call the cops for that. They dealt with that. They waited for him and they got his ass and they beat the fucking shit out of him and he never came back.
Yep, taught him a lesson.
Nobody fucking called no cops over that shit.
That's
It
kind of
ain't
how my old neighborhood was, man. The same thing. It's like
That's what
people
men
who-
will be men, bro.
the
When
people
men
who
be,
was
when
doing
act
something
men are
wrong,
like
they
men.
dealt with you, man. It's just how it goes.
because it's like, and like I said, it's like, and once again, that's when it comes to American culture and American subcultures, because there are many cultures in America, and you know, I don't think it gets said enough that there's different types of people from all over the world in this country, depending on your economic standing and where you live and socio-economic factors. There are customs, you know, there are dialects. Ebonics is a dialect, all right? There's a set of words, and you either know what they mean or you don't, based on you being from that region or not. If you from San Francisco, the slang gonna be different than if you in the middle of fucking Harlem. If you in Texas, the slang gonna be different than if you up there in fucking Portland, Oregon. Motherfuckers talk different.
Yep.
So these are all subcultures. And when it comes to certain elements of this case, there's a subculture that it's almost like, oh, well, it ain't wrong that they did that to you, even though that's your own people. Like, oh, I ain't gonna go against the grain. I ain't gonna say nothing bad about my own people. Bro, they said bad things about you, bro.
You shouldn't even be fucking with niggas like that, bro. I'm telling you, if niggas did me like that, I can't fuck with you because at the end of the day, bro, I did nothing wrong to you. You saw it with the LDBC saw what they own eyes because I know as crazy as they may sound, they know the truth. You saw it with your own eyes. The PBC did not do right by a lot of its fighters by how they matched them and how they, allowed those fighters to, do absolutely nothing with their careers for the most part. So you're going to allow these people to get into your ear? Like, come on, B.
I don't like, once again, we going, and this is why I keep coming back to the beginning that we don't know that this is a play to get in their good graces, though I will say, if months from now we see that Terrence joins the PBC, then we know who put you up to this. We'll know. That's confirmation, bro. It's not, timing is everything. If you decided to sue Top Rank, and then what subsequently followed is a pact with the PBC, okay, that's a pact with the devil. Period. Because that is cultural. If this is cultural appropriation, if I've ever seen it, because you're taking a real life issue and misappropriating it for personal gain, which is what the LDBC does. Period. That is what they do. Yes, racism is real, and you can find it almost in any work environment in America. What the fuck does that have to do with Wilder picking a guy that ended up fucking him up? Because that's literally what happened. You picked that guy, bro. The system. Wait. The system did not pick him for you. The system, the man. Nope, you picked him, bro.
Julius,
What's
Yeah,
up, Leo?
hello guys.
Leo.
There is no fucking way Terrence Crawford believes this shit. There is no fucking way that he thinks that Bob Arum didn't give him the fight because he didn't want to. Errol Spence never wanted a fight. Look,
Nope.
when the Josh Taylor versus Ramirez happened, I thought, okay, Josh Taylor is gonna beat Ramirez, but it's not gonna be a one-sided beating. It's not gonna get the fuck out because Ramirez looks confident.
Mm-hmm.
Ramirez knows, but and I think my opinion was after the Benavides fight, Errol Spence he might lose, but it's gonna be competitive. I didn't think at that point that Errol Spence is gonna be fucking demolished by Terrence Crawford. No, Errol Spence is a natural welterweight. He has his skills, he has his punching power, but the way you move after. No, do you thinking you are getting knocked the fuck out by Terrence Crawford? That is why you're running.
Yeah.
And
I
then
agree. I agree with all of that. Like your dog, like after a while, and I'm where Leo is with the fight, that this fight is not Trinidad De La Hoya to where you want to see the fight because both guys are in peak physical form and this is the fight. No, that's not the feeling that I have. And I can only speak for myself, though I think Leo agrees with me that this is not that prime for prime and you're unbeaten and I'm no. This is you shot the shit, bro. You fell out of a Ferrari and landed on your face. The year after, a year after that, your fucking eye is falling out, bro. Like you seeing double vision because your retina is detached. It's over. If it ain't over, it's almost over.
I'll go a step further. When Crawford ran up to Spence behind the backstage, I knew then that fight was never going to happen, just based on Spence's body language. Being a street dude, you saw Spence had the numbers there. More of his crew was there. And just his energy and avoidance of looking Crawford eye to eye was reminiscent of Charlo and
Crawford energy was real. My bad.
And it was the same thing as Charlo and Danny Jacobs. The thing is, and we got to say this, Errol Spence and the PBC fighters, they don't look at boxing as a warrior culture. They're not bred. They're not bred to have honor and leave it all on the ring. And that's why Spence. One of the reasons Spence avoids Crawford because he knows that's going to require him to do something that he knows he doesn't want to do.
I'm gonna tell y'all some funny shit, right? Now I told y'all after the Oscar Rivas fight, I became a fan of Ryan Rosiski, right? Because he took that fight and like, yo, dog, you not no motherfucking heavy. Really, you not even really a bridgerweight. You a cruiser, right? But he took that shit like it wasn't shit, and he fought his fucking ass off. And it wasn't pity patting and move. Nah, we gonna fight, bro. And if you gonna knock me out, you gonna knock me out. But we gonna fight. So he posted on his Instagram story, somebody asked him, like, yo, why you want to fight Alan Babic? He said, why the fuck not? One of us going to get stretched, but that'll be like a Gaddy versus Ward kind of fight. And that's that G shit. They're like, what you mean, why? Why the fuck not? Why you worried about it? You don't want me to fight him? Fuck you worried about that shit for? They motherfuckers ask the motherfucker, because you know when they do that Q&A shit, on Instagram where they'll put up the shit like ask me a question. Motherfucker ask them a question. Yo, why you calling out? Why not? You don't like why not? You know what I'm saying? Whereas with these PBC, you can't ask these dudes about no fight. You gotta call Al. I think he make a lot of them dudes suck his dick. Real shit.
Yo, Julius. You have to stop.
Nah, because motherfuckers.
You have to stop.
Based on what I've heard about Al Heyman, that's not Jules. I've heard about Al Heyman. I don't think that's not far from the truth.
Drew, why you think us? Yo, I'm like, it's funny, but I'm dead. Like, yo, the way they move, like, yo, y'all don't.
I feel you. I feel you with that, bro.
This goes back to Jules' genesis of all this. This is only happening with American fighters.
Yeah,
American fighters have lost the love for the game. Just being the best, going down. I might take a couple L's,
but only this is what I'm gonna say. It's only that faction of American fighters. It's only the PBC guys. If you look at Keyshawn Davis, if I look at Keyshawn Davis and I look at Shakur Stevenson, they don't just want to bag. They want to fuck you up. They want to fuck you up, bro. And they want to do it in style. That's that competitive mentality. They're like, if you good at something, yeah, you want to know that, yo, this is where I'm at. I want to compete, regardless of what it is. Whereas these cats, they on some fake Vlad TV, uber famous, some type of just weird ass shit. Like, yo, y'all cats don't even want to do what y'all doing, B. Y'all just want to get paid. Y'all really don't even want to do what y'all doing. That's what I see. They're like,
well, the funny thing too is they're all on an allowance, remember?
And that's really just to keep, that's really just to keep the PBC afloat, keep all the money circulating in-house, like homeostasis, like just keep balance or whatever, harmony and all of that. But it's like, bro, like a lot of the programming that they putting out lately, a lot of that shit, I don't even watch that shit because I don't view that shit as a lot of they shit as boxing. Like that's not boxing, bro. That's not boxing.
It's just some form of entertainment.
Boxing is Shakur Stevenson, Oscar Valdez. That's boxing.
That's a fact, man.
All right, boxing is Liam Smith taking his gray-haired ass to fucking Russia for Kurbanov. That's boxing. That's boxing, bro. Boxing is Takeshi Inoue going to fucking Australia and dealing with a 14-day quarantine for a chance to beat Tim Tszyu. That's boxing, bro. The shit y'all doing, I don't know what that shit is. What the fuck is that shit? What the fuck is Leo Santa Cruz versus that guy? You telling me after all this, y'all still ain't make the Gary Russell Jr. After all this, y'all still didn't do it, bro. I can't deal with that shit, man.
Yeah, bro.
Go ahead.
It makes me sick. It's quixotic, man. It's just like, yo, after all these years, you have the largest stable of fighters, and you not wanting to, you don't even want to see the best fight, the best for your entertainment, Al. Really, be like, really, like, yo, like Drew, like, I really do believe what Drew's saying, and I've heard those stories too about Al Heyman. He comes from the music business. He's got some weirdos in the music business, but come on, bro.
He Harvey Weinstein with buttholes, bro.
Yeah,
that's what he is.
Yo,
Julius, give me a chair, man.
Hey,
Julius is an animal.
We laugh
Harvey
at all
Weinstein
these secret societies.
Bro, he the Harvey Weinstein of buttholes.
Oh my god!
To have that level of wealth and to be at that level,
Drew, I don't laugh at them shits at all, bro. Drew, I do not.
In jest. I'm saying in jest, but, like we kid about the shit, but it's facts.
It's real life shit, bro.
And the evidence is there that Al Heyman set this up to just swindle that $500 million. That's why he's not trying to make anything successful and turn a profit.
And let me say it again. If you look at when the Waddle and Reed money, when PBC first got off the ground, go back to those fights, right? The fights that they did put on. And you tell me, where did you spend that money? Because it wasn't on them fights. At all. Like, it couldn't have been on them fights, bro. Them fights wasn't shit. Back then, I remember
it went
one
to
of the
Hans Zimmer for the soundtrack.
Word, right? That got him because I'm like,
Al Michaels and Sugar Ray Leonard for the announce team.
That got him because I'm like, it didn't go into matchmaking. I remember back then the main gripe that I always saw people have with PBC, which literally is one of the main gripes they still have with them today. These are mismatches. The production is nice, but these are mismatches. That's what I remember that in 2015, 2016, 2017. Now, I will say that back then, we ended up getting Danny Garcia versus Keith Thurman, which was a major fight at the time. I can't take that away. There was a lot of viewership for that fight. The ratings were great. The fight was shit. Like, it just did not live up to. It didn't live up to what people thought it was gonna be. Granted, but still, you know what I mean. It's just that you notice that year after year, those kinds of fights were happening less and less year after year. They're like, dog, we should have been got Leo Santa Cruz versus Gary Russell by now. We should have been got that. We didn't get that. Now, I know we got Jared Hurd versus Lara. Cool. But look, we get fights like that all the time from other outfits. You see what I mean? Motherfuckers don't sit around. Like, for example, Top Rank put together Vosdick versus Better Beef. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? Easy peasy. No fuss, no muss. You got a belt, he got a belt. Let's do the fight. They did the fight. That was 2 fights into Artur Better Beef's Top Rank contract. He fought Hot Rod, and then he fought Vosdick. Period. All right. Now look what we getting. Now I know we had to wait for it a little bit, and to me, I've always blamed Oscar Valdez for this. I've always thought that Oscar just doesn't really care for that fight, and he doesn't really like that fight. But I saw that there was some friction with Emmanuel Navarrete, and his promoters in for promotions. I didn't see any friction with him in Top Rank, but I saw friction that like I saw Fernando Beltran say that he wants Navarrete to fight Oscar. And I always wondered, well, does Navarrete want to fight Oscar? It seems like you want that more than he wants that. He probably want to chill at 126 for a couple more fights. It just feels like you want that more than he wants that. Maybe he don't want to move up right now. Yeah, I mean, because he hasn't been at 126 that long anyway. And then we end up, yeah.
Eson's in the comments trying to get in.
All right, but
sorry to interrupt.
But so we end up with Stevenson versus Valdez. It's like, yo, dog, it's in other words, you doing your job. You don't get extra credit for doing the job that you supposed to be doing. If those are in-house fighters, yeah, you supposed to make that fight. So why the fuck we sitting here 5-6 years later, we still ain't get Leo Santa Cruz versus Gary Russell? Why is Errol?
Yo, bro, that goes all the way back to Golden Boy, bro. Real talk.
Why is Errol still trying to unify the division after how many years? Motherfucker, Josh Taylor unified his division fast as shit. Usyk unified his division fast as shit. Canelo unified the super middleweight division fast as shit.
Under a year, bro.
Fucking Usyk did that shit like he had to go take a shit. Like, all right, give me your belt, your belt, your belt. All right, yo, I gotta go take a shit. You know,
and I'm coming to your hood too. I'm coming to your hood and everything. Yo, you see Usyk with the fresh haircut and dancing with his wife, bro?
He's a Capricorn, B. Like, we bought the haircuts in action, yo.
That's a fact, man. That's a fact, bro.
In the action, in the Cuda.
Hey,
of course.
She got that good old Ukrainian Cuda. Probably little boxing gloves in there. Punch you in the dick. Pop, 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 pop.
Yo, bro, but like, yo, real talk, it's abysmal what happened to American boxing, bro. Because
Jules is the shit Jules comes up with like that is he's deranged individual, y'all.
A little bit.
That's why I fuck with him, bro.
That's
why I fuck with him,
bro. Jules is here to get us ready for the alien reveal.
Listen, bro, I'm scared. I'm not even going to say I'm scared. I'm going to just say, look, there was a volcano eruption, a subterranean underwater volcano eruption over there on the West Coast in the Pacific. They issued out a tsunami warning a couple of days ago, but I gather that there was no tsunami, thank God. Within that time frame, there were UFO sightings, I believe, in Arizona and Mexico City. I'm just saying it's not a coincidence, bro.
We don't want it with the aliens, bro. Real talk, we don't want it with them. We really don't want. We do not want it. Like, say you see a gray just step onto your turf and say, "What's good, Julius? I want to shoot the fair one," and no guns, no nothing.
Nah, fuck it, why not? Fuck it, why not? Let's see how they do it in your neck of the galaxy. Why not? I'm gonna punch that motherfucker right in his eyeball because that shit is mad big. All right, I want to welcome Jose M. Severino. Jose, you see what the subject matter is, the Crawford situation, the usual PBC shit. Just tell me your thoughts, B.
Yeah, how you doing, guys?
Welcome, Jose.
Oh, thank
What's
you,
up?
thank you. Well, so I got a little bit lost because I was doing stuff around the house. So, what was the subject matter?
Bueno, la situación con Terence Crawford suing Top Rank porque ellos no le dieron la pelea dique con Errol Spence Jr. What are your thoughts?
Loco, esa vaina me tienes alto, manito. Like, listen, it's like well, you cannot blame Bob Arum because at the end of the day, like, it's Errol Spence who don't want to make the fight. Like, he always makes excuses and stuff. Like, the first excuse was, you first need to get a belt. He got the belt, and didn't happen. So then, Terence Crawford was basically fighting his
mandatories y cualquier persona que le puedan buscar. Lo que yo estoy diciendo es que ese tipo sabe la situación. Él sabe la situación.
Lo
He's
que
not
pasa
new.
es que él se la está pasando en internet con los walkie guys and shit, and he wanna like make a bomb on that shit, but at the end of the day, like, bro, what is your argument? Like,
eso es lo que yo estoy diciendo, que ¿cómo tú le vas a echarle la culpa de toda esa vaina a este tipo?
Pero también tú tienes que entender algo, yo, like, Bob Arum is not like 25 years old. The motherfucker's like 105 years old. Like,
No.
¿tú crees que
Es
ese
que,
tipo no sabe lo que él está haciendo?
es
He's
que
ancient.
también, sí, pero también, tú sabes que los viejos, ellos están azarados, ya que cuando uno está viejo, no tiene tiempo para, están
Mira una
azarados ya.
vaina,
Oh,
like, bro,
oh,
you're Dominican, so you understand, like, old people, like, especially from our country, like, you might have a point, but not because you sound good, they just don't gonna make you have it. You know what I mean? Like, you better know
exactamente.
what the hell you're talking about.
Ahora
So,
lo que estoy diciendo es que Bob Arum, sea bueno, sea malo, es lo que es un viejo. Y él es así con todo el mundo.
loco, pero
Él fue así, mira, él fue así con Teofimo López, fue así con Mikey García, fue así con Terence Crawford, fue así con Floyd Mayweather. So ahí se ve que la manera que él se comporta con la gente, él es igual, regardless of who it is equal.
él
And
es
what I see,
constante.
es constante. And what I see is, okay, what we're arguing here is not about equal rights. It's about preferential treatment. You want preferential treatment. You don't want equal rights. You want to be treated preferentially. And that is your issue. Porque ¿cómo va a ser que tú le vas a echarle la culpa a este maldito viejo? Él no puede, él no puede controlar lo que Errol Spence
Yo,
hace.
oye, a mí lo que me da es, atiende, a mí lo que me da es, sorry to cut you off, bro, sorry. A mí lo que me da es que, man, mira lo que pasa, like, oh no, you hurt my feelings, like, dude, he's 90 plus years old, like, he don't care how you feel, bro, like, man, tu
Yeah.
abuelo le importaba cómo tú te sentías, like, nah, bro, like,
Pero
That
eso es lo que
nigga about
yo,
to kick the bucket, bro.
like, I don't know if it's tomorrow gonna drop that, bro, like, I don't care how you wanna feel, like,
and the wild shit is that all old ass motherfuckers, like, bro, motherfucker 90, he don't got time to be sugarcoating and he got hair on it. That motherfucker's 90. Especialmente si él está usando su dinero para hacer la pelea en tuya y está perdiendo dinero el viejo, si él va a estar enfojonado, ¿cómo que no? He's gonna
Yeah,
be fucking pissed, bro.
yo nada más me imagino a Bob Aaron en su oficina. Yo,
Este
nene
tipo,
lo que está
coño.
haciendo, coño,
And if he says something, he's just gonna bluntly say it, and that's it. You're
yo
gonna
le
hear
estoy
it.
pagando cuarto a este tipo. Yo puedo hacer una casa desde el piso, mi loco.
Eso es lo que yo estoy diciendo, que esta situación no se trata
No,
de que de racismo. No, eso no se trata de
no, on
racismo.
some real talk, he got paid more welterweights. Like for Indongo, before he was a welterweight, he got like $4 million. Like
Esa
for
es la
that.
vaina.
Like
Y
he cannot, like on some serious shit, like ya hablando serio, ya él le han pagado más que todo el mundo, porque Eric Spence tanta bulla que hace, lo que le dan 2 o 3 milloncitos.
eso es lo que es. Y después,
¿Tú me
the rest
entiendes?
of the money, what they hope is that the rest of the money comes from pay-per-view. Pero tú chequea the commission sheet of the purses, $2 million for Sean Porter, $3 million for Mikey
Y
Garcia.
ya le daban cuarto adelante de ESPN, manito. Like, el único que le han hecho esa vaina a él. Like, I never heard that shit before.
Manín, ni Lomachenko ESPN lo está pagándole así.
Man,
Ni
Lomachenko, mira, mi papá, like my dad, he's a huge boxing fan, as well as me. Like, I've been boxing since I was like 8 years old, and I'm 28, so like it's it's a long time. But anyway, I'm talking here like as a boxing fan, and I talk a lot with my dad, and my dad always told me the same thing. Like, yo, listen, Lomachenko's been built by Top Rank, but he is the kicker. He's not an American base, so he needs to a little bit of overhype, in order to like break that barrier. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't have the language. He only have the skills.
Y también muchas veces los americanos no les gustan los hombres pequeños y siempre fue así, siempre. Al
Es que al americano nada más le gusta lo que explota. You see that like the movie, like Jackson Van and shit. Like,
no, pero eso es la
explota.
verdad. Esa es la
Yeah.
verdad. A los americanos, mira, esa división de que 118, 126, no, en esa vaina. El americano no le gusta. Ahora yo, porque yo soy fanático del boxeo, yo lo veo and I appreciate it. But if you look at most American boxing fans, they don't really watch the bantamweights.
Mira una cosa, mira, en otro punto, like I wanna make about is like, yo, I've been boxing since I was, like a kid, but I've been up to, like, I listen to your lives and shit, like I keep up to speed, because honestly, like, while you're in the gym and stuff like that, only rest and like go to work. Like you don't keep up to speed. So like after that, I just watch like your relays and like live and shit. But honestly, like most of these guys, then they're not really accurate. Like Fannin and
Oh,
like no
no,
disrespect, like they do their thing. Like no disrespect, they do their thing. Like some of them they go to fights like Blue Bloods, I think his name is.
Bueno, yo lo que voy a decir es esto. Fanon, ya se ve que Fanon, and I think everybody forgot que ese tipo tiene problemas psicológicos. Por eso es que yo no digo cosas malas. Yo no digo cosas malas.
No, porque at the end of the day, like, ellos no lo hacen como con malicia, tú sabes, porque eso también hay que entender. Están locos ya, tú sabes. Están locos.
No, dog,
Yeah,
check this out. This is the level of delusion from the LDBC. I used to work with one of them. You guys know the channel Town Biz?
Uh-huh.
I used to work with him when I was lugging cases at Cisco Foods warehouse. He tried to say that the warehouse protocol was racially biased because they didn't give him enough time to finish the orders. Mind you, this was a union job. It was a set standard. You had to pull X amount of cases in an hour. Everybody was held to that standard. But he tried to fucking claim racial bias that the standard was not beneficial to black people.
Wow.
Because of the cold, because we were working in a freezer.
And
Let me guess. Did he
That's the
reach
level.
standard?
That's the level of some of the LDBC, bro.
Es que mira, también lo que se tiene que decir es esto. En el mundo hay verdugo y hay pendejo. Y esas son pendejadas. Like, el pendejo con su pendeja.
And you want to know what the funny shit is? That shit went out the order because there was several seniority black employees that went through that same seniority process of having to work in the freezer till you got enough people under you to get out of the freezer.
Nah, but this is what I mean, and I try, like, anybody that watches this channel knows that most of the time I'm just trying to keep it boxing, but it's hard to broach some of these subjects without addressing the other elements of it. So when I see somebody go that route in an official legal document, right, and I see that the actual complaint is in reference to a contract, but you went as far as adding all this other stuff to the complaint. I'm like, yo, I don't understand. How could you? Are you serious? Like, are you saying that because you didn't get a Spence fight? Really? Like, yo, that's wild to me, bro. Shout out to Matthew Cochran. Shout out to Deed. Charlo and Andre should have gone for that Murata. Yeah, but this is the other thing. Yo tengo año. I got years telling people that Ryota Murata is a superstar in his country. Nadie que no esta vainita de aquí. That dude is a superstar in his country. And that's
he's like Canelo in his country.
Seriously.
To Mexico.
And I posted his numbers for years in his country. They're like, yo, when this dude fights, it's like the whole fucking country is watching him fight because he does numbers that nobody in this country does. Nobody, all right?
Kind of like Pacquiao in the Philippines, you know?
Exactly. Like, it's wild the kind of numbers this guy does. Y que cuando yo digo eso, the Americans, a lot of American boxing fans that are very xenophobic, they don't think about that. Like, yo, it's money over there, bro. The yen is not weak. The yen is strong.
And Jules, it goes back to the point, like they acted like Triple G was a no-name. Triple G's huge over there in Southeast Asia and in that part of the world. In
They've shown his fights for years over there.
That's why that fight is a 9-figure fight over there.
No, y más malo is the double standards. It's okay for Charlo. We have to worry about Charlo's bank account. We have to worry about Benavidez's bank account. Pero si el Gennady Golovkin makes a similar move to the move there, no, ese tipo no sirve. La vaina. Like, man, get the fuck out of here, man.
Gennady picking Murata over Charlo is the same as Spence picking Ugas over Bud.
They acting like Charlo's hood in Houston had anything on fucking Kazakhstan when Triple G was walking around 7-8 years old with a Glock. Come on, man.
Exactly. Hold on. Jose was trying to say something. Go ahead, Jose.
You know what's a good point? That contract between like Charlo and Triple G. Like Triple G took the contract with the Zone, I think almost at the same time as Canelo, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And oddly enough, like that was when I think at the time was like Eddie Hearn was like, "Oh, Pay-per-view is dead" or whatever the case may be. But listen, they were mocking these guys like, "Oh no, ustedes lo que están peleando un ad, whatever the case may be." But listen, when you add like everyone from Triple G's country and on that side of the world follows him and subscribe to that app just to see him fight, you
Millones.
counted thousands of people, man. Like, and now you count like what was it, like $50 a month or something like
No,
that?
y
I used to
ponlo
my
así, no,
cousin's subscription.
pero también ponlo así. A ese tipo le pagaron $14 million for fucking
Es que él tiene
Steve
un
Rowe.
contrato de 100 millones, man. Like,
Ese,
ese
pero
tipo
eso es lo que,
todavía le deben cuarto. Like.
lo que yo
And
estoy
and
diciendo es que cómo va a ser, mira, si ellos me dicen a mí, yo, we'll give you $14 million to take a shit in the toilet on this app. Bro, I don't care if it's an app.
Ayer lo
Or...
hago.
Eso es lo que estoy diciendo.
and their narrative is completely destroyed with DAZN continuing to expand and buying BT Sport.
Yeah, but when you reach that point, Drew, to where the facts themselves, see, it's like the guy that was on here yesterday, right? That he kept contradicting himself because he's emotionally attached to the case. And I can't stress this enough. I am not emotionally attached to the case. I don't win any money if Crawford wins or loses. So I'm just looking at a legal case. Whereas he's emotionally invested. When you're like that, you lose your ability to reason, because that's what he was doing. Like, yo, dog, you're not making sense no more. For starters, the case is not about racial bias, right? The official complaints are not in reference to racial bias. I only highlighted it because there are several pages where that's what they're talking about, but the actual complaint is in reference to a breach. And I've said this from the beginning. It's up to Crawford to constitute a breach. That'll be easier to prove than the other shit you're saying. The other shit you're saying, you're going to need audio and video for that. You are, because things that he says are open to interpretation. There are several contributing factors to a fight that doesn't happen, not exclusive to what you're alleging, which is a racial bias. Oh, I didn't, like the guy kept bringing up Manny Pacquiao, even though that's not in any of the 26 pages of the document that I saw. Put it like that. But you bring him up. We're like, what about the Pacquiao fight? They did try to make the Pacquiao fight. Freddie Roach said they're trying to make the Pacquiao fight in 2017.
Él
He
hubiera
said,
matado Pacquiao, man.
él lo mata, sí, eso se sabe.
Jules, did you get that Deadline article I tagged you in with DAZN restructuring leadership and implementing a new CEO, a sole CEO, not a team of CEOs?
Oh no, I didn't even see that.
I tagged you with that on Twitter, so I know we'll get a relay on that.
Yeah, I want to read about that. I do want to, because I already know John Skipper. He'd been out. They've been changed him. They've been swapped him out. And I took what I took from his statements after he left is that he's bitter a little, or at least he might have felt bitter when he said what he said, that the zone failed in America. No, not really. They still have a lot of American talent, and they still have a door open to Canelo Alvarez. I know that his next fight might not be with them, but it's not outside the realm of possibility that he returns to the app. No, it's not outside the realm of possibility.
From what I heard from my contacts in the industry, because I used to work at NBC Universal, it's just John Skipper couldn't deliver on some of the benchmark promises he said.
And you're going to take losses when you have a fledgling business. You're going to take a couple of losses in the beginning. That's a given. But as you stated earlier, not but a few minutes ago, all the information that's out there in reference to the zone says the opposite of the narratives that we heard here on YouTube. Oh, they're going to go broke. Oh, this, oh, that. I remember when Canelo Alvarez was trying to get out. It's literally everything I said that was going to happen happened. I said, he's not going to get no fucking 260, whatever. He's not going to get that. But what he can get is free agency. And that is what I believe he's after. He is trying to establish that Golden Boy Promotions, after already having a deal with him, they entered into a new deal with the zone that contradicts his deal with them. And based on that, that's a breach. And the best thing for Golden Boy to do in that situation is let him go. Because if you don't let him go, this is going to get very messy for you. The zone is not going to save you.
Also, he wanted to build his own brand with Canelo Alvarez, no boxing, no life thing. Like he also wanted to do his own thing at the same time. Like, and the zone and Golden Boy, they just wanted to fight Triple G and force him to do that, and he didn't want to do that. And
La
people have to
vaina es,
understand
ellos le prometieron, y ellos no tenían ninguna razón para hacer esa promesa. Que there was gonna, what I see that they did, they promised the people at the zone a third Golovkin fight. Pero Canelo, he didn't say that. Yeah, of course I'm gonna fight him. He didn't say that. Y'all made a promise on his behalf, thinking that you could deliver that. Based on that, that's what I see caused the problem. That y'all never should have promised the zone that, because Canelo wasn't on board for that. Y'all didn't get a green light from him. And based on the contract that you have with him, you need the green light from him. Your contract states that he chooses who he fights.
Y también otra cosa, like Canelo low-key, he has a high IQ as a person as well. Like, él tampoco se va a quedar como un pendejo. People gotta understand that. He's an alpha dog, yo. Like, you know, tú no le vas a decir un tigre así, like, what to do all the time. Like,
es que ya se ve, no, pero también es que ya se ve que con Canelo tú no le puedes decirle a ese, tú no le puedes, you can't tell him what to do. Que cuando él quería pelear con Lara, yo voy a pelear con Lara y ya.
Jules, I just posted that link for you in the chat, that deadline article.
Y Oscar, he didn't want Canelo to fight Lara, but guess what? Fuck that shit, bro. I'm fucking fighting Lara, bro. He came up on me talking shit. Nah, we gotta fight. Go ahead.
You see the Nonito Inoue rematch is being scheduled for April.
Oh, thank God.
That's wonderful.
God. Thank fucking God, bro. Que ya yo me estaba hartando. I was getting fucking sick of bantamweight, bro. I was really getting sick of that shit.
Excuse me, what fight?
Nonito Donaire versus Inoue 2.
Fuck you.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro.
Hey,
I'm
Jules,
excited for that.
Quick.
One quick. Oh, go ahead, brother.
One thing I wanted to say, but I didn't want to interrupt or anything. The fact about fans, America is on the bottom of the list as far as backing their fighters, man. Everybody else is way better than America. We are, you know, we don't back a lot of Americans don't back their fighters.
I agree. You know? Like, look at the Japanese and what they're doing for Inoue and Murata. Look at what
they always back though.
Bro, when you see one of their fights, yo, everybody is in that shit, bro. Everybody in that
Murata versus Brandt. Look at Murata versus Brandt too.
Look at this shit, dude. Everyone at that time hyping Spence versus Mikey Garcia. Oh, Mikey Garcia is a pound-for-pound fighter. He's a multi-division pound-for-pound fighter. What the fuck is Terence Crawford? It's a Pokemon card pound-for-pound.
Eso es lo que yo te digo.
Resume is thinner than Crawford's.
Es que mira, este país, the populace and the way that they think, I'm not going to say I'm getting dumber. I'm not getting dumber. Pero este país es getting fucking dumb out here, bro. Lo estupidez. So you don't see that this. Look at Twitter, bro. Look at fucking Twitter, bro. These fucking mutants that spend all day doing that bullshit. Like, dog, this country's getting dumber, bro. To where things that people do day to day, they don't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like, yo, dog, if you that high on the fighter, why are you not giving them your money? I'm a Crawford fan. So when Crawford has a pay-per-view, you know what I do? I fucking buy it. I'm a boxing fan. If I don't buy it, I'm not going to get them fights. Now, what y'all was doing to your brother, y'all was saying he ain't shit. Y'all was saying that he ain't beat nobody. Y'all didn't buy his fight. Y'all was
Tim Bradley 2.0.
Tim Bradley 2.0. And the shit that killed me is, and I say this all the time, go back and look at Bradley's resume. He beat unbeaten Lamont Peterson, unbeaten Devon Alexander. He beat Juan Manuel Marquez after Marquez knocked out Pacquiao. He fought Pacquiao 3 times. I know a lot of people don't feel that he beat him, but he still fucking fought him 3 times. He been did all the shit that y'all trying to do, that y'all was trying to do. Who fought Devon Alexander way after Tim Bradley? Man, PBC guys. Who fought Lamont Peterson way after Tim Bradley? Motherfucking Danny Garcia and Errol Spence.
And you know what's odd though? Then you mentioned Tim Bradley, that Terence Crawford came up being a sparring partner of Tim Bradley. Tim Bradley was like, yo, who's this dude? He just beat me up. Like,
yo,
and that's the thing though. Like, that dude, he's not a hater. Like, he comes off as a hater because he's very competitive and like, well, this is the the way that I see it. Like he can talk that shit. Like some guys that can just talk that shit. Like, hey man, like this guy is good, this guy is bad. Like they can talk that shit. Like Underwood, John Porter per se. You know, like guys that been there, done that. You know, like.
Pero la vaina de Tim is that Tim, like they say, whatever they
He
say
sound
about
annoying.
Tim, whatever they say about Tim, no se trata de su carrera. It only refers to him being a top-ranked fighter. I'm like, yo, dog, look at his fucking resume, bro. Never
Es que la
forget.
gente le quitó pila de steam after that robbery against Pacquiao. Le quitaron mucho steam. Entonces, after that, he went on a kamikaze mission and get Pragamnikov, I think that's the name was.
Ajá. Ese ruso.
And that was a hell of a fight, though. Like I remember
Pero es que
biting my nails, man.
ese tipo se merece. Lo que yo estoy diciendo es que cómo va a ser que tú estás aquí and you're so fucking high on Spence, ¿verdad? Because he beat Brook. Look at Bradley's resume, bro.
Mira, yo vi esa pelea de Brook. I don't want to lie. Like I was having a Spence before because I was like, yo, if he survived Brook, because Brook, let me tell you something, bro. Brook is a hell of a fighter. Like he hit hard.
He is.
He's a big welterweight. Like he can go over to 160. Like
Pero
I'm
en,
just being.
en esos tiempos se sabía que, mira, Gennady Golovkin ya le dio una salsa a este tipo. Tenía una cirugía en la cara.
Sí,
Because,
él le jodió el overbone, tengo.
Ajá, le rompió la cara. Después estaba regresando al 147 after he went up to 60. Ya se sabe que, mira, ese tipo va a estar acabado que cuando él llega va a estar acabado que cuando él llega para allá abajo. So ya se sabía there's a good chance that Spence is going to win the fight. Pero myself, and you could go to the videos I did in 2017, myself, like you, yeah, en esos tiempos I was high on Spence, pero ahora, ya que tiempo ha pasado and we can review the resumes, bro, Tim Bradley resume shits all over Spence's resume, bro. Con esa una victoria over fucking Juan Manuel Marquez after Marquez knocked out Pacquiao.
Mira una vaina. Juan Manuel Marquez is really underrated, my dude. Like he's really underrated. Like he hit hard. He's a really good kind of fighter. He hits the pocket distance. Like let me tell you something. Him and Pacquiao, they're about the same level.
Mm-hmm.
Like the thing fucked them up, I think, was like he was not able to like speak English. Like, don't get me wrong, but you know, just to market himself in a in a way per se, you know. But he had a lot of good people on his resume. Like he got Pacquiao, he got Morales, his resume is really packed, man.
And he doesn't get
the Wish World Champion, like.
He doesn't get enough credit, and it's like, okay, and he doesn't get
knocked out either.
He doesn't get enough credit for his career, and Tim doesn't get enough credit for beating him. But we supposed to sit here and go crazy. Que Uga, he beat a 42-year-old Manny Pacquiao, my guy.
Man, let me tell you something about that.
I gotta say so. I gotta real quick.
Go.
I'm going through these articles, Jules. I sent them to you in your Twitter DMs. DAZN has over 11 million subscribers. Add 5 million from BT Sport, which they're going to acquire. And Kevin Mayer, the DAZN group chairman, says in 5 years they have become the global leader in sports streaming.
I believe that.
Huge.
So there's some interesting stuff in this article, in these two articles that I sent you. And boxing is still a part of their plans.
Yeah, of course, but the thing is that
and most le dolía la cabeza leyendo eso.
No, porque Al Heyman todavía quiere vender pay-per-view, aunque ya se ve que mira, el problema con pay-per-view is it's too easy to steal. That's the problem. You can't beat the piracy. Que cuando Wilder peleó con Tyson Fury the first time, the Musso report that tracks illegal streaming showed that even though the fight only sold 325,000 buys, there were 2 million illegal streams in America, 1 million illegal streams in the United Kingdom, and another couple of million scattered around the world. You can't beat that, bro. You can't beat that. Your operating system is obsolete. You can't beat that.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Jules. Are any PBC fights seen outside of America?
They don't have a foreign broadcast partner. They literally don't. The fights now where they're ending up is Fight TV, which you all know Fight TV. It's a pay-per-view platform, but that's not the same as getting a dollar amount from, let's say, Sky Sports or BT in the United Kingdom or RTL in Germany. Like RTL in Germany, they show Joshua versus Klitschko because Klitschko has a lot of fans over there. He used to fight over there. So RTL shows the fight in Germany. Sky shows the fight. Sky Box Office shows the fight in the UK. In America, both Showtime and HBO paid $1 million apiece to be able to show that fight on their network. So it's all this money out there. Y estos tipos in America, they're still focusing on, we got to do a Showtime pay-per-view.
That's why you
can
call
we
them Isolation Island, man.
So can we surmise, Joe, that Matchroom and Golden Boy fights are seen by more people than Top Rank and PBC?
Yes, easily. That's what the numbers show.
And then that's why we want DAZN to give Golden Boy more money.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, that's my campaign. I want Roberto Diaz and Eric Gomez to get a bigger budget so they can expand on their stable of fighters, sign a couple of amateurs, some girls, some boys, some medalists, or just some amateurs.
Stand out to the point that you were making.
Even if they gave them an extra 5 to 10 million each year.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jose.
I want to add to the point that you were making that, okay, America only want to make like PBC fighters.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing though, like when you see the coverage of their fights on Showtime, the only fight that you see like, oh, like people that are traveling to, for over the world and shit like that, it's like when Manny Pacquiao fought Errol Spence, whether he was supposed to. So remember he was like, oh, like everybody getting around, like, following what he was like running and shit like that.
Bueno, vamos a decir que they had two major. I'm gonna say that there were. Let's call it. Let's wrap it up into one, because the Tyson Fury versus Wilder fights, while the second fight lost money on pay-per-view, it had a very good gate. They did about 19 million with that. But what is Tyson Fury? Is he an American? No, he's a Brit.
No.
So con eso ellos tienen que ver. They need to realize that boxing is global now. It's not the 80s where it's just the Americans that are dominating. It's not the 90s. Boxing is global now. And if you're not trying to compete on the global market, guess what? You're not even competing, bro. You're not in the running. This is not you're not in, because everything is global now, bro. Tyson Fury is from the UK. Usyk is from the Ukraine. Tony Yoka is from France. Filip Hrgovic is from fucking Croatia.
And look at the pound for pound list. Like, well, not like individual pound for pound, but like, let's say mainstreams. You have at least we're 4 or 5 foreigners. Like,
un japonés.
And we're in a time. The crazy thing, we're in a time where we're in a time where boxing is back towards the old Roman gladiators, where warriors from all over the world come to fight there. That's the beautiful part of it.
That's one of the best. That's when it's the best. When the world, because this is the beauty part of it. It's like the fucking Kumite, bro. Y'all remember the Kumite?
Yep.
Hearts on fire. Man get beat up at the Kumite. It's fucking beautiful, bro. Like, it's beautiful. Like, I love that shit. And that's more money. What I want, y esto es lo que yo quiero. Lo que yo quiero es que el boxeo crezca como un deporte, because if boxing grows, my channel grows, my wallet grows. Common sense. Common sense. But what I see is the American channels. See, if you look at the UK channels, like Hatman, like Ade, these guys got like 50,000 fucking subscribers. You look at IFL TV, which was made by Kugan Cassius, and you look at the viewership that channel gets with the interviews, and they're just plain old interviews. People watch that shit, right? But if you look at the American channels, it's like, what the fuck is this? Like, what are you guys? Are you guys talking boxing? You could go to any one of these channels while they're in the middle of a live stream, and what you're gonna hear is not boxing. Like, no, we're not talking about boxing matches. We're not talking about anything that really pertains to boxing. We're talking about American subculture in American boxing channels. And that's why it's shrinking. The audience for the sport is shrinking in America. It's ridiculous. Like, your dog, like, we was the best at this once. We used to get the most gold medals. What the fuck happened?
How the mighty have fallen.
We're pussies. And credit to the UK fans, the UK channels. They're up at motherfucking 5-8 hours ahead of us, watching these fights at 4 in the morning, 6 in the morning, and they're not
they don't
even
play, man.
English,
they don't play.
And they don't even matter if there's not a UK fighter on the card.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why I know Jules wants to go over there.
The
I
thing
mean,
about
yeah.
you, the thing
Yeah,
about
yeah.
UK, just like the culture is a little different. Like, I've been in UK. I was there for like a month on one of my boxing trips, and like the culture itself, like people, people, they're just different. Like they just focus on whatever they're doing. Like if they're gonna drive, like they don't have no distractions. They have to play the radio or drive to work. They don't have to like be in Twitter and all these other things. Like they actually focus on whatever they're doing. So
Pero también ellos tienen lo que a mí me gusta de la gente de Inglaterra y la gente en Ireland, en Scotland. Esa gente tienen honor.
sí,
Ellos tienen honor.
tienen word, verdad.
Eso es algo que yo veo que este país, it doesn't have it. There's no, like,
Es que aquí quiere ser todo el mundo más tigre que todo el mundo, viejo.
Eso es lo que es. Todo el mundo es matón y verdugo y tigre.
Entonces, tú quieres ser más tigre que todo el mundo y tú terminas siendo un palón.
Co-sign you, brother.
Eso es lo que yo estoy diciendo, que mira, en este país, el mismo tipo that prides himself on being, no, ese tipo de tiguerazo, él mata a medio mundo, también quiere ser fucking genio that they know about banking and this. It's like,
mira the PBC guys. They're all walking around like they rappers do, like 45 chains, like driving like crazy cars and all that. And when you see like what money they're making, it's like $2 million, $1 million.
Y ahí es que se ve que, mira, a lot of people don't remember that era of rap between 1990, I'm going to say 1999 and the early 2000s. That was like a subculture of faking it until you make it. You don't have money. You haven't advanced from a record label. That advances that advances your budget for your studio time and your music videos. It's not that you have money. It's almost a small business loan what they're giving you. Pero en eso tiempo, motherfuckers didn't know that. So motherfuckers thinking, yeah, all these guys is paid. No, they not. That shit damn near student loan what they getting from them labels, bro. Dudes is in debt.
Yo sí tengo cuarto. Yeah, like I hate that shit. Like,
that shit is crazy, bro. Like,
no, brother's right. I was in the UK for 10 days, and I'm like, besides Mexico, it's another place I could live.
Bro,
yeah, I was in London back in '93, man. That place was cool. I enjoyed it.
Yo, I was in Cambridge. Yo no me quería ir. Like, yo, I'm cool here.
Ellos tienen, yo no voy a decir que hay país perfecto en el mundo porque nada es perfecto en el mundo.
Pero lo que bad around there is the food. Like, it's not
bueno, la comida y the weather. Allá siempre hace frío.
Yeah, it's
yeah, eso sí es verdad.
Allá siempre hace frío. Don't stop.
No salgo. I'm good.
No, también. ¿Y qué más sabroso que ese acento que tiene la mujer? Ese acento. Ay, Dios mío, esa mujer, coño. Esa maldita mujer, man, con ese maldito acento, mira.
Oh, man.
As long as I could get my café Bustelo over there, if I could get it on Amazon, yo me mudo para allá. I'll stay over there, bro. Fucking stay over there, bro. Like, just let me Amazon my café Bustelo. I'll have my greca y ya, yo estoy bien because I don't fucking drink tea.
There was a lot of Colombian honeys in the neighborhood where I went to go get bandeja paisa too.
La vaina, man. Bueno, con esto, let me read these two super chats. Murata in Japan is on fire like Drake after bed. Willie Lynch says, Julius, random thought. Random thought. Check out the movie The Harder They Fall with Humphrey Bogart. I think that's a movie you'd appreciate. All right, on that note, yo estoy cansado, yo estoy viejo, me voy a dormir. Everybody, I got one more super chat. Let me see. Hold on. George says, fantasy fight Camacho Sr. versus Tim Bradley, 140-147. Diablo, qué pelea. Diablo. I don't know who I would pick to win that fight, bro.
No, I think
if it's the Camacho that didn't get Rosario'd and the Camacho that beat Sugar Ray Leonard, I'd take him.
Yeah, but that was an old Ray Leonard, bro. Like, he was fucking old.
But that was before Camacho got chin checked in that fight, remember?
Got him against the ropes and stowed on him.
Yeah, like that. We can't. Hey, that's like the Mike Tyson that fought Kevin McBride. It's like, bro, that might don't count.
I like that Eddie Guerrero. Hey, Latino heat, lie, cheating, steal, baby.
Nah,
Camacho
I mean, wait. Espera. I like Camacho. Don't get me wrong, but Tim is a bad dude. Like, I think people don't realize it's a bad fucking dude, man. Like,
he's durable as fuck.
He's a bad dude, man. Like, he take a shot. WMMA says happy birthday to hard-hitting Capricorn. And yo, I forgot she's a Capricorn. Es que el Capricornio, man, we some shit, yo. We some mother.
And
That
Wolf
lady
would fuck
hit.
all these bitches up in this era.
Yo,
And Wolf would fuck.
she's special, bro. We special people, bro. Con eso yo me voy a dormir. Yo tengo sueño. Everybody, thanks for jumping on the panel. I'm gonna see y'all on the next
It
live.
was fun. Night,
Yeah,
everybody.
peace.
Night, Julius.
Hey,